Welcome, have a nice day. Today is Thursday, 21st of November 2024. This day is famous for the celebration of World Hello Day. This day promotes the communication and understanding between the different cultures and people. From the history point of view, in Indian history, 21st November is not a particularly notable in Indian history. However, there are few significant events that occur on this day globally. In 1969, the first permanent ARPANET link was established between UCLA and Sri, a crucial step in the development of the Internet. Also in 1971, Indian troops aided by the Mukti Bahini defeated by the Pakistani army in the Battle of the Gharipur during the Bangladesh Liberation War. Now, starting in the newspaper with the world news, including Gautam Adani charged in United States for bribes worth $265 million to Indian government officials fraud. United States vetoes United Nations Security Council resolution on Gaza ceasefire. Israeli strikes on Syria's Palmyra kill 36, state media say. Cambridge Dictionary crowns manifest as the word of 2024. Pope announces web designer Carlo Aetius as the first millennial saint. Australia won't force social media users to share their personal details when child ban takes effect. Now, briefly, with the Hindu newspaper states that Senate rejects effort from Bernie Sanders to block some weapons for Israel over the Gaza death. United States Senator Bernie Sanders, IVD, speaks during a press conference regarding the legislation that would block offensive United States weapons sales to Israel, with the senators Chris Van Hollen, DMD, Jeff Merkley, DOR, and Peter Welch, DVT, as the United States Capitol in the Washington, United States, November 19, 2024. The Senate has rejected an attempt by Sen. Bernie Sanders to block the sale of offensive weapons to Israel. The Senate on Wednesday, November 20, 2024 rejected an attempt by Sen. Bernie Sanders to block sales of the offensive weapons to Israel for its war in the Gaza over mounting civilian deaths there. The Vermont lawmaker and a small group of Democrats sought to put legislation up for a Senate vote that would block the sale of some tank and mortar rounds and smart bomb kits to Israel. The first attempt to block the sales was rejected overwhelmingly, and two more were expected to go down to defeat. Prime Minister Modi proposes 7 key pillars to strengthen the ties between India and CARICOM. Prime Minister Narendra Modi speaks during the India CARICOM summit in Georgetown on Wednesday, November 2024, alongside the Guinea President Irfan Ali. The Prime Minister holds talks with the Caribbean partner to strengthen ties in areas such as economic cooperation, agriculture and food security, health and pharmaceuticals, and science and innovations. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Wednesday, November 20, 2024 proposed 7 key pillars to strengthen ties between India and CARICOM, as he held talks with the Caribbean partner countries focusing on areas such as trade, technology and tourism, among others. Mr. Modi, who arrived in Guyana on Wednesday, November 2024, the first visit by an Indian head of the state in more than 50 years, made the remarks as he joined leaders from the Caribbean partner countries for the second India CARICOM summit in Guyana. Climate change is the biggest disruptor in aquaculture, food and agriculture organization. Manuel Bernays, Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Division of the United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization. Micro, small and medium players in the sector are finding it difficult to get a place at the table. Manuel Bernays, Director of the Fisheries and Aquaculture Division of the Food and Agriculture Organization, said. The Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, of the United Nations has offered its technical expertise and knowledge to deal with the impact of the climate change on the country's aquaculture, and the fishing community engaged with it. Talking to the Hindu here on Wednesday, November 2024, Manuel Bernays Director of Fisheries and Aquaculture Division of the Food and Agriculture Organization. With the climate changing, the ocean will produce less and the composition of the fish catches will also change, urging policy measures to help micro, small and medium players in the blue economy. Professor Barney said India has to adopt this situation by taking measures such as changing fishing gears we use and market new varieties of the fish so that the consumers have access to other breeds of fish than they are accustomed to. Management is the best conservation, he said. Professor Barney is in Delhi to participate in the Fisheries Day function organized by the Union government on Thursday. That's today. Professor Barang said the Food and Agriculture Organization looks at the blue economy from the point of view of nutrition and food security. The most important element is that while the ocean occupies 70% of the planet, it only generates between 5 and 10% of the calories that we eat. This imbalance cannot continue. We cannot have land which only occupies 30% of the planet, producing 95% of the food, he said, adding that there are many constraints to further growth of fisheries sector and reducing overfishing and overcapacity, reducing loss and waste are important. Going towards the Hindustan Times states that need for cooperation rather than conflict. Rajnath Singh tells Chinese counterpart in Laos. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh meets Chinese Minister of the National Defense Admiral Dong Jun during the 11th ASEAN Defense Ministers meeting plus ADMM plus in Vientiane on Wednesday. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh on Wednesday called for drawing lessons from the unfortunate border clashes of 2020 during the talks with the Chinese counterpart Dong Jun in Vientiane. The ministers' interaction took place weeks after both Indian and Chinese forces completed disengagement of troops from the last two face-off points in the eastern Ladakh. Amicable relations between the India and the China, the two largest nations in the world, would have positive implications for global peace and prosperity, the defense ministry said in a statement. Considering that both the countries are and will continue to remain neighbors, Singh mentioned that we need to focus on cooperation rather than conflict. Manipur extends mobile internet ban in 7 districts for 3 days. Security personnel conducted patrolling in the sensitive area of Manipur on Wednesday. The Manipur government on Wednesday extended suspension of the mobile internet services for 3 more days in 7 districts in the view of the law and order situation according to the State Home Department order. The state authorities suspended the internet services on November 16th for 2 days to thwart the design and the activities of the anti-national and anti-social elements and to maintain the peace and the communal harmony and to prevent any loss of life by stopping the spread of disinformation and false rumors through the various social media platforms. It had been extended for the 2 more days on the Monday. Exit poll highlights Hayuti likely to retain Maharashtra close fight in Jharkhand. Exit polls live result. In contrast to the majority of the pollsters, Axis or My India projected a massive victory for the JMM Congress alliance. Exit poll result highlight thousands of the voters cast their ballot on Wednesday to elect the new state government in the crucial assembly battleground states of the Maharashtra and Jharkhand, marking a big test for the Bharatiya Janata Party led NDA and the opposition India faction after the 2024 India elections. Now going towards science and tech, we have GM crops can help fight hunger depending on how they are farmed. A farmer stands in the field of mustard while India's Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee recommended the environmental release of GM mustard variety DMH11 in 2022. The Supreme Court blocked it in July 2024. Modern tools like CRISPR help scientists to make the targeted changes to plant genome, cutting the cost of development. People are also more accepting of GM when the plant does not have foreign genes, but the costs of regulation and ensuring nothing harmful enters the market is still too high for institutions that don't only work for profit. The world's population is growing and more people need farm food. but indiscriminately expanding agricultural land and practice is not desirable. Cutting forests to plant more crops will only push already fragile ecosystem over the edge. Dosing fields with the pesticides is similarly toxic and the depletes soil and groundwater. The genetically modified GM crops provide a way out. In the 1990s, researchers found a way to modify a plant genome and make a specific change that prevented insects from eating them. In the pet cotton grown in India and pet brinjal in Bangladesh, scientists added a gene from the bacterium Bacillus thuringiensis to the plant's genomes, making them produce a toxin that kills some insects. Clearing the air on the Delhi's air pollution crisis. A bird flies through a thick layer of the smog in the New Delhi on November 20, 2024. The population of the city and surrounding area significantly contributes to a year-round toxicity because of the vehicles, emissions, and traffic congestion. Since 1984, when MC Mehta filed a public interest litigation petition, there has been a flurry of activity to combat air pollution beginning in the October month, and there a long moon. A lot has been achieved, but the growing economy and population have outpaced these measures. This is not unique to Delhi. Los Angeles established its air pollution control program in 1947 and currently remains among the worst in the United States both for PM 2.5 and ozone. The lesson is that our urban toxicity is a bigger problem, while the problem itself is debated and requires long-term measures. The National Green Tribunal (NGT) began the process of taking a new look at an old problem by asking the government to list the cause of the air pollution. However, the National Clean Air Program, launched in 2019, with its collaborative and participatory approach, focus on monitoring, set targets, emergency measures, and inclusion of international organizations, had made it minimal impact. The Supreme Court held the right to clean environment, and good health is an inherent part of the fundamental right to life and personal liberty. This is the context of the judicial review, moving from guiding government decisions to implementing them. At last, this is a famous personality, Bhagat Singh, born on 27th September 1907 up to 23rd of March 1931, was an Indian anti-colonial revolutionary who participated in the mistaken murder of the junior British police officer in December 1928 in what was to be retaliation for the death of an Indian nationalist. He later took part in a largely symbolic bombing of the Central Legislative Assembly in Delhi and a hunger strike in a jail, which on the back of the sympathetic courage in Indian-owned newspaper turned him into the household name in the Punjab region, and after his execution at the age of 23, into the martyr and folk hero in the northern India. Borrowing ideas from the Bolshevism and Anarchism, the charismatic Singh electrified a growing militancy in India in the 1930s and prompted urgent introspection within the Indian National Congress's non-violent but eventually successful campaign for India's independence. Bhagat Singh was convicted of the murder of the John Sanders and Shannon Singh and hanged in March 1931. Aged 23, he became a popular folk hero after his death. Jawaharlal Nehru wrote about him. Bhagat Singh did not become popular because of his act of terrorism, but because he seemed to vindicate for the moment the honor of Lala Lajpat Rai and through him of the nation. He became a symbol. The act was forgotten, the symbol remained, and within a few months each town and village of the Punjab, and to a lesser extent in the rest of the northern India, resounded with his name. In certain later years, Singh, an atheist and socialist in adulthood, won admirers in India from among the political spectrum that included both communists and right-wing Hindu nationalists. Although many of Singh's associates, as well as many Indian anti-colonial revolutionaries, were also involved in daring acts and were either executed or died, violent deaths few came to be lionized in a popular art and literature as Tir Singh, who is sometimes referred to as the Shahid-e-Azam, great martyr in Urdu and Punjab. Mr. Bhagat Singh says a very famous quotation. He says that revolution is an inalienable right of mankind. Freedom is an imperishable birthright for of all. Labor is the real sustainer of society, the sovereignty of ultimate destiny of the workers. Okay, thank you.